The world itself isn't words. It isn't concepts. It isn't ideas. It's true, of course, that words are physical noises. But even the very notion that the world of nature is material or physical is in fact a philosophical concept. It's a network of words. And the real world, which philosophers are always struggling to define, can never be defined. It's not material, it's not spiritual, it's not mental. It is what it is. The great semanticist Alfred Korzybski called it, rather amusingly, the unspeakable world. For this world is a multidimensional network of all kinds of vibrations, spectra of vibrations, vibrations of color, vibrations of sound, vibrations of texture, vibrations of emotion and feeling. And when we are babies, we experience it just as a whole muttering jazz of different textures of experience. As we grow up, our elders and betters, our parents, teachers, uncles, aunts, and peer groups tell us what vibrations are good and what vibrations are bad. And naturally, because as little infants we are very impressionable, we believe what they say. They tell us, for example, that we really ought to go on living, so that when we get sick and have a fever, they stand around the crib and wring their hands and give us the impression that this is a dreadful thing. Of course, it isn't necessarily dreadful at all. A Zen Buddhist poem says, "The morning glory blooms for an hour, but differs not at heart from the giant pine which lives for 1,000 years." What difference does it make whether an event be long or whether it be short? Whether a flame burns dimly and slowly for a long, long time, or whether it's just a brief and intense flash. This, said T.S. Eliot, is the way the world ends, not with a bang, but a whimper. And G.K. Chesterton countered him, saying, "You may go off with a whimper, but we will go off with a bang." So we become prejudiced. We accept the standards of our culture, the concepts and forms of our language, and confuse them with what is actually going on. Most people in our present culture would rather have money than wealth, would rather eat the menu instead of the dinner. But the important thing is to be able to come back to reality. After all, if I talked all the time, I would never hear what anyone else has to say. And similarly, if I think all the time, that is, talk to myself inside my head, I won't have anything to think about except thoughts. I'm not saying that thinking and talking aren't important. They're very important. But one must, after all, have something that isn't thought and that isn't words to think about and talk about. Otherwise, there is no grist for the intellectual mill. And hence the importance of meditation, as it is understood in Zen, which is from time to time, not all the time, but at certain times, to stop thinking altogether and simply be aware of what is. This may be done very, very simply by becoming aware of the play of light and color upon your eyes. Don't name anything you see. Just let the light and the shadow, the shape and the color play with your eyes. And allow the sound to play with your ears. As you listen to my voice, don't try to make any sense of what I'm saying. Just be aware of the tones, and your brain will automatically take care of the sense. Relax your tongue in your lower jaw, because every thought in the head goes with a very slight tension of the tongue. Relax it. And don't try to stop thinking. Don't force anything. Just let your mind think whatever it wants to think about. Just let your eyes see whatever they want to see, and your ears hear whatever they want to hear, and let go. And let your lungs breathe as they want to breathe. Don't force your breath.